welcome to the NGO Whisperer Show. My name is Dr. Carolyne Opinde. I'm the founder and CEO of the NGO Whisperer Center for Social Impact based in Manchester, United Kingdom. Here at the NGO Whisperer Center for Social Impact, we work with non-governmental organizations, social enterprises, governments, and funding agencies to promote social innovation and investment for a sustainable world now and in the future. In Season 6 and Season 7 of the NGO Whisperer Show, we feature our Global Fellows Class of 2022. Joining us today from Johannesburg, South Africa, is Clifford Legodi. He is the Chief Operations Officer at SayPro. Clifford, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carolyne. It's good to join you guys.
Clifford, I have worked with you now for almost 3 years, and then you joined us as one of our global fellows. What inspired you to step into the nonprofit sector and to focus on working with the youth in the informal settlements and townships of South Africa?
Thank you so much, Dr. Carolyne. Just as mentioned, I'm Clifford Legodi, 29 years of age. Currently, I serve as the Chief Operations Officer of SayPro. It wasn't always niche for me to, plan to actually venture into the NGO sector. But the organization's employees happen to have been facilitating career guidance within our school when I was still in high school. And from there, I basically just developed interest. And eventually I found myself having to just be a part of the organization. I think immediately as I was about to matriculate, they ran a competition looking for for a brand ambassador. I entered the competition and became, of course, the face of the organization. So for the past, I think, 9 years, I've kind of changed positions from being the Chief Communications Officer to being the Skills Development Facilitator, up to today where I serve as the Chief Operations Officer. So I believe working with young people has been quite rewarding. There's nothing that works better than having to wake up in the morning and, going towards working, helping young people, developing and impacting lives. So the work that we do is basically more around, impacting as well as changing the lives of young people by offering an ICT-based life work readiness, as well as facilitating the linkages to employment opportunities.
It is so refreshing to see how a young person like you moved from being a high school student into the nonprofit sector, working with your peers to make a difference in your community. I know SayPro has evolved from just working with young people to working with corporate organizations and the government of South Africa. Clifford, what is the focus of SayPro right now? And who are the people that you serve? And also, what impact have you made so far?
So SayPro's focus, our aim is to actually empower the youth through upskilling them to recognize and utilize the opportunities that are around them. So we do this by providing life and work readiness programs that are ICT based. We also facilitate linkages to employment opportunities. But over and above that, we also have other clients that we work with in the corporate sector, where we're working with private companies providing training for their staff. We also work with governments as well as higher institutions of education, providing training and development, as well as capacity building. To date, and currently, we're also serving, 10,000 young people that come into our learning portal to access our services as well as training programs. We also have placed 67% of the young people that we have trained over the years of our existence. So it's been quite amazing, of course, to work in the NGO sector, where I believe in South Africa, the biggest challenge that people are faced with is unemployment, of course. So SayPro's mission is just to ensure that we are able to cap that gap and empower young people to access employment opportunities.
Who are some of the partners that have made it possible for you to do this amazing work?
Of course, we do have, funders as well as supporters within the the public as well as the private sector. So we've got the Department of Social Development that has been very supportive for the long years that we've actually been in existence. We've also had a couple of funders from the US as well, who had PEPFAR that we work with. I think it was actually through you, Dr. Carolyne, an application that we did together, which has actually seen us receive support from the US as well. We've also got quite a few I think private companies, the likes of Accenture, as well as Anglo Gold America. We've also had Lightstone come in and actually supporting SayPro to push its vision as well as pursue its mission. So had it not been for the support of the NGO Whisper and also pursuing some of the funding opportunities, I believe a lot of our work wouldn't be as impactful as it has been to date.
We are so honored to work with you and to help you achieve those goals, whether it's through the fellowship program like now or through pursuing funding opportunities. It's been an honor. Clifford, you have been with us at the NGO Whisperer Global Fellowship Program since July 2022 all the way to December. What inspired you to apply to be one of our Global Fellows?
To be honest, at first I was a little bit unsure as to whether I would have time, but immediately as I looked at some of the actually courses that would be covered within the fellowship program, it became something that I definitely believed I needed. I think I've mentioned also in some of the sessions that we've had that just last year, SayPro was going through quite a big transition where I had to basically, I think, shift from where I was staying, and because also we had just actually gotten a new client. So there was just so much going on, and dealing with the change and actually having to adapt to the different ways of working was kind of a little bit difficult. So I felt when I looked at the calendar as well as the courses that were set up, I believe that it would definitely work wonders in helping me cope and adapt to the changes that we were currently going through and stuff. And of course, to date, I definitely believe they've worked wonders because there was quite a number of things that were covered within the courses that definitely spoke, to me. And there were things that I was currently actually experiencing, which I was able to acquire skills that help me, deal with those challenges as well as, cope with the changes as well as, also empower some of the team members that I work with, getting the skills and actually just allowing them to, also cope with the challenges as well as the changes that were happening currently.
Clifford, you learned a lot, and you've mentioned how this helped you to adapt to the changes that are happening at the organization. What are the top 3 new areas of learning or insights that you'd like to share with us today? I know there could be more, but we just want to hear from you about 3 of them. How did they make a difference in your life?
Well, the top 3, areas, that I've learned actually. First, I believe it was developing a theory of change. That is just one that I had always, been a bit, informed with. But it was more, I think it has been quite tricky before, where you had to kind of like understand, tying the, result chain as to where you get to learn the kind of, because we are in the NGO space. So in most cases, we often kind of like misunderstand the kind of needs that exist, as well as the problems that you're trying to solve as an organization, as a nonprofit company. So it was very, very critical of me to actually learn as to how to develop a theory of change, try and actually set, programs as well as maybe goals based on the problem that we're trying to address. So the process also, involved the different spheres of theory of change, which I think, funny enough, these are things that we've actually been implementing and designing programs before. But to me, that was something that became more detailed, in terms of having to understand the different, structures, as well as different techniques and processes in applying, various skills to develop the theory of change, as well as your basic understanding of the kind of problem that you're faced with and you're trying to address. Secondly, for me, what also came out of the program was more around the health and wellness. Just as I mentioned, the transition was quite heavy. And so there were quite a number of techniques that I actually learned that helped me kind of create a balance between having to cope with the, the changes as well as the problems the challenges that we actually currently faced with during that time, as well as just striking a balance between my personal as well as professional life, having to manage the two. Those for me were definitely some of the new insights that I've learned. And of course, the M&E part, which has always been critical, especially working in the NPO sector, where you need to have, evidence-based data that also have techniques that you apply in monitoring the progress of your programs, as well as the projects that you implement. So those were definitely, the biggest highlights of me being a part of the Global Fellowship Program.
Absolutely amazing. Clifford, how has SayPro changed as a result of your participation at the Global Fellowship Program? You've indicated how the different modules have impacted you personally. Share with us more, focusing on also the growth of your team members. Share with us some of those changes that you have observed most recently.
One, I'd keep on going back to actually the one where, like I said, the transition did not only come as a challenge for me, but for the entire team. And of course, having to be a part of the fellowship program, the skills that I was actually acquiring from the program, I was also able to empower the different staff members that I work with. Also, just having to acquire certain skills around project management as well as effective planning. Those definitely became things that I was able to also implement in managing the projects that we are currently working on. So also, just as I mentioned, we had just acquired a client, a big client. So the transition was kind of tricky. But SayPro has actually moved we've greatly improved in terms of how we do things. We've received quite a lot of positive feedback from our clients. We've actually also, during that period, have managed to actually secure a new project, and which was through, the kind of performance that we've had with the current programs. And I believe had it not been, by being a part of the, fellowship program, some of the things would have been a bit difficult for me to cope with stuff. And of course, we've always had you to, come to, especially in terms of the various applications, some of, the consultative sessions that we would have where you would come in and also give your input. So definitely, I think that for me, is a stellar point where I definitely believe that we have, immensely grown. Like I said, the focus was primarily before on just empowering young people, but over, the period of last year, we've seen ourselves transitioning into being more strong in the corporate, training and development side of things, which I believe it's definitely working wonders for us.
That is fantastic. What does the future look like for SayPro and also for you as a leader?
So the plan is to actually replicate our model into other provinces. Currently, we are we are quite known in Johannesburg, in Gauteng, as well as in Western Cape Town. So we're basically looking to venture and replicate our model into other provinces of South Africa, looking particularly not only in the, youth development or empowerment, but also pursuing the corporate training and as well as development, which is something that we definitely believe have, kind of grown pretty much big around. So the plan is to basically grow with the organization, take it a couple of steps further into venturing into those other provinces and, creating, normally they would say, start creating a global footprint, because already within the, the learning platform that we have, we also have people from other foreign countries that are actually, accessing our courses and stuff. So it's also just to ensure that we can broaden our scope as well as service as many people as we possibly can.
I cannot wait to see the impact that you're going to make when you expand into all the other provinces in South Africa. I know you're already reaching people through your online platform, and people are joining from all over, not just South Africa, but all over the world. Thank you so much for the amazing work that you do, Clifford and the SayPro team. Now, what is your last message to governments, to civil society organizations, corporate South Africa, and good citizens on capacity building and skills development for young people, especially those who are unemployed?
Thank you so much for that question, Dr. Caroline. I believe the main scope of SayPro is to, of course, try and curb unemployment. So to the different or the various role, stakeholders or players within the youth empowerment sector or industry, I would kindly request that they look a lot towards these two national development goals that I definitely believe are, I think, quite very important and close to my heart. One being the SDG 4, which is, I think, quality education, as well as the SDG 8, which is, I think, access to decent jobs, as well as employment opportunities. I definitely believe that we need to, I think, invest a lot towards education and ensuring that people get quality education, improve the education systems as well as the curriculums that we're currently offering. The corporate as well as the government, together with the NGO sectors, need to come together and work collectively in developing, impactful programs that are focused more on providing that quality education, as well as ensuring that enough opportunities are created for young people to basically access employment, as well as maybe entrepreneurial development. I think currently as we speak, South Africa has been reported that we're standing at 64.18% of youth unemployment, which is quite concerning at this point. So we need, different people, and looking at young people as well as maybe the different role players to come in together and actually plan as to say, these are the challenges that we are seeing within our modern society. These are the gaps that we see. These are the needs analysis of these are the needs of our people. These are the programs that we definitely believe can be implemented. So definitely going back, it's more around just improving the quality of education, as well as ensuring that we work collectively to create decent employment opportunities for young people, particularly looking at the advancement of technology, but also preparing them for the fourth industrial revolution, but also empowering them with entrepreneurial skills to ensure that they can create opportunities for young people within their respective communities, as well as areas of residence.
That is powerful. Thank you for your message. Where can people find you? How can they connect with you?
I have quite a number of social media accounts, both personally, but we also have our organization's site as well. So organizationally, they can reach us at www.saypro.online. That's our main website where they can actually get to find a lot of our information. On Facebook, we are also SayPro. We're also on Twitter as well as LinkedIn, just as SayPro. On LinkedIn, they would basically see Clifford Legodi. I've also got a Facebook account. So on Facebook, they can reach me at Clifford Lesiba. Instagram, it's Clifford Legodi. Twitter, it's also Clifford Legodi. I'm also on TikTok, of course, very live and broadly there. So they can definitely reach me at Clifford Sense, which is just one of my side businesses that I currently run at the moment.
Thank you so much, Clifford. It's been a great honor and a pleasure to have you here at the NGO Whisperer Show. And it's always a joy working with you and with the young people at SayPro as you make a difference in the lives of other young people in South Africa and around the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Caroline. Pleasure being with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and a pleasure to have you join us today. Thank you so much. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. We also invite those who are interested to be part of class of 2023 at the NGO Whisperer Global Fellowship Program. Go to ngowhisperer.com/fellowship and apply to be one of our Global Fellows class of 2023. The classes will begin in July and end in December 2023. We are honored to have you. Come join us. Throughout the year, we provide capacity building and training to NGOs and social enterprises through our masterclasses. Go to ngowhisperer.com/masterclass and apply to join us. There are 2-hour free masterclasses once every month, and there are 4-week high impact masterclasses offered every week. We look forward to having you join us in the next masterclass. Thank you so much. As always, it's all about connecting people, raising funds, and impacting lives globally.